Okay, it's April 2nd, and this is the GaNooze special. The dog ate my tires, so I couldn't get to work edition. That's right, dog ate my tires. That's my excuse. Obviously, I have an excuse, but it's my excuse, so it's not going to be an excuse I share with you. So anyway, sorry it's late. Late edition. That's right, it's like a day late. The day late edition of the GaNooze. I said GaNooze before, didn't I? I didn't say news, did I? That would be like a copyright violation. Well, anyway. All right, so they found these 1.2 million year old human jawbony thing, like in Europe. Can't remember where. But anyway, you know, and so they're not speculating. So they say in the story like human, but really it's humanoidish. You know, it wasn't like our human ancestor. It was like the ancestor of us and like the apes and shit. And so it wasn't like the guys who actually colonized Europe and like became, you know, the conquerors of the world and all that crap. It was like other humans that were in Europe when the real humans showed up and beat the crap out of them apparently and took over. But they might have crossbred with these guys, you know, so that might have led to the racial differences quicker than would have happened if it was just a, just a migration from Africa. So they might have already been there for 500,000 years, you know, living in caves and shit. And so when the new guys showed up, you know, they might have done some, you know, stuff and then killed them all. Who the hell knows? But it's probably not a good story. It was probably a great story if you got the movie or the DVD, but it probably wouldn't be a great story to live because there was probably a lot of violence going on and such. But anyway, I'm just speculating, just pulling it right out of my rear orifice. All right, so octopuses. So there's a story, and they go like they had in the headline, Octopussy, you know, just to take advantage of the 007 thing, you know, and to make the story more interesting, I guess, because it's kind of a stupid ass story. So apparently, I think it was Berkeley University. They did a study off the coast of Indonesia of the life and times of the octopuses that live over there. And so they find out the story is just idiotically written. I mean, they are kindly and violent. What is the fucking point of throwing those words right next to each other? I mean, really, come on, you can't get any more oxymoron than violently kindly or kindly violent. So anyway, and apparently they don't get sex too often, you know, once in a lifetime. And apparently they fool each other with fake gendering. You know, their gender gets kind of fucked up now and then. So they really tried to make this as tawdry as possible. What else do they do? Well, they kill each other over jealousies and shit like that, they say. So they speculate. I don't think it's all that fucking interesting what fucking octopuses do, because guess what? Octopus is pretty damn stupid. You know, living under a fucking rock. That's what they do. They actually live in a rock. You know, like in between two rocks, that's where they live. That's how fucking dumb they are. They can't find a better place to live than a fucking rock. They don't build anything. I mean, if they built like a nice little palace or something, I'd be a little bit impressed. They're living in between the cracks in a rock. The things that live in between cracks of rocks is not fucking brilliant. So anyway, who cares? No offense to any octopus eyes around. Alright, so what the hell is this? Oh, shooting stars on Mars. This is big news. So apparently one of our little rover guy things on Mars saw some little shooting stars in the background. And had announced the fact it's the first time we filmed shooting stars on Mars from the ground. Very exciting. See, NASA really doesn't have anything to do. But apparently in 2010, NASA's all going to hell because they're going to can about 8,000 people, they speculate, because that's, I guess, the space shuttle program ends in 2010. I didn't think it was that soon, but yep, it's all going to be done, 2010. So all these billions of dollars, these little space shuttle flying monster things, yeah, I guess they're all going to get retired. And, maybe they'll put them someplace and let people live in them or something, or do something useful with them. I hope they just don't, let them rot somewhere. They'll do something with them. Make them into boats or something, or casinos, this space shuttle-orama or something. Okay, anyway, Canada seal hunt. I don't know what the exact story is, because when I read the story, it didn't have the exact story, but apparently these people, Greenpeace kind of people, trying to, interrupt the seal hunt and then apparently the Canadian Coast Guard was there to protect the seal hunters, and apparently the boats crashed into each other and 4 people got killed. well, 3 people, 1 was missing, so I presume the missing guy is dead. So missing guys, they usually don't turn out too well for the missing. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this whole stupid barbaric seal hunting thing, all these hunting things are all barbaric and stupid. Wild animals should have as many rights as farm animals. I mean, that just makes logical sense, right? If you're going to give rights to animals on a farm, then you have to give rights to the animals who aren't on the goddamn farm. What's wrong with doing that? Fucking bastards. In Brazil, they found this sea crocodile guy fossil thing, and it doesn't seem like big news to me. He was only 3 meters long, but I guess he's like sort of the ancestor to the modern crocodiles, and sort of explains why there's crocodiles in like everywhere, you know, Australia and South America, and you know, because I guess they were, you know, saltwaterish creatures. So anyway, but it wasn't all that interesting. I mean, it wasn't all that big. 3 meters is, you know, I mean, it's scary if you're, you know, but it's not too bad. It's not like them 60-foot sharks and shit. That's, you know, that'll fucking make you wet your pants. Anyway, so Linux, they got this stupid story for no good reason. I mean, it's just one of those stories they just write and they say, okay, we'll just throw this in on a slow day. And so, yeah, it's just like a reappraisal of the current status of Linux, the operating system. And, you know, apparently it has like 1.5% of the market, you know, but mostly it's on the server side. But the interesting fact is that you know, Apple only has like 2.1% or 2.3 or something. So it is kind of surprising. I thought Apple was a little stronger than that in terms of its market share. But yeah, and apparently we all pay $50, you know, to Microsoft for the operating system, which isn't that much, but still, it's $50 for a shitty operating system. And apparently the Walmart, they were selling Linux machines, but they stopped doing it, and then Dell apparently put theirs on a separate page, you know, so you have to like deliberately and willfully kind of navigate their website to get to the Linux machines. You know, anyway, we just, you know, but it's getting better. You can get the drivers easier, a lot of other things, but yeah, it's just kind of hard to put it on a machine that hasn't been configured for, because, you know, unless an expert configures it, you might run into some troubles. Alright, there's some story about Google Docs, which I don't entirely understand. Apparently they got some sort of software online, half online, whatever, spreadsheets and word processing and whatever, and apparently now you can access those documents online. I don't know. I didn't understand the whole fucking thing. I mean, the whole idea. I mean, I want software that I don't need to, you know, to have my software applications loaded over the internet. You know, it's kind of stupid, I think. And all these word processors suck. I mean, the one I had, like, it's called like AMI Pro. It was like 15 years ago or whatever. You know, it was a long fucking time ago. It worked on Windows 3.1, and it was so much easier to create a document. I mean, you can move the text anywhere on the document you wanted to. I mean, it had text boxes. It was really quite rational. Had a whole bunch of Adobe fonts. I mean, it was great. I mean, all the rest of this stuff sucks. I mean, I can't believe how much, you know, Microsoft's newest word processors suck. Okay, you can't do anything. It's all irrational bullshit. You can't do the simplest things. Fuck it. Alright, enough complaining. Way too many features that don't do anything useful. Anyway. Virtual World. Yeah, so this place, I guess, is some kind of Second Life website where you virtually float around other people's virtual website areas. And so apparently they were getting grilled by Congress about, you know, whether there needs to be security to protect us from terrorists, because the terrorists are apparently seducing people with their virtual world and saying, come into our virtual terrorism world and we'll explain to you the fun of terrorism and how it's great to blow yourself up and all that neat crap. And but the people that run the website assure the Congress that no, people can't get away with that, because they censor that material. They get rid of those virtual worlds, and so there's no real security problem. Sounds kind of fucked up either way, but yeah, the government should not mind its own business on that kind of stuff. Government should, you know, fund some public services on the internet. Shouldn't be bothering censoring the internet. So there's going to be 2 parts. So moving on to the second part when it's available. But since YouTube's doing some sort of updates or whatever, it probably ain't going to be available till tomorrow. So whatever. Sorry, whatever. Best of luck.